to my first video about growing my garden, my family and my business. So today we're going to be talking about growing my garden. As you can see, I'm currently sat on the lawn in front of our house, and I'm going to give you a bit of a background into the project that we're working with. The plan is to document the transformation of our garden from a pretty basic standard garden with absolutely nothing very attractive about it to something that's more us, more unique and very, very specific and special. I'm going to show you a little bit of what we're working with, and then I'm going to be talking to you about some gardening books that I bought last weekend, which are going to be the foundation in terms of learning about gardening, what I can do, and really we're starting from scratch here. So my experience with gardening is very, very limited. Really think about the first time that I was ever in a garden and really enjoyed being there and kind of helping my aunt out. My aunt was planting these vegetables in her garden, and she needed to clean up this row of carrots that she had growing. She asked me if I could help her dig some of the weeds out and really kind of create some order and space and cleanliness in the garden. And I remember just being so excited to do that project, mainly because I could see the fruit of my labor right there in front of me. And to this day, whenever my aunt sees me, she will always mention this story of when I helped her make her garden more beautiful. Apart from just generally enjoying planting various things in the house, I've got 2 avocado trees, 2 zucchini plants, 1 Christmas tree, 15 cactuses, 1 mint plant, and a monstera plant. Apart from these plants that I've just kind of put around the house, I haven't really developed a project from start to finish like this garden. To be honest with you, the reason for it hasn't been because I didn't want to, it's just because this is the first time we actually own our house. Till now we've been renting. It's really very difficult to invest in a place that you know is not yours. You can't really modify much to it, and even if you do spend a lot of time, energy and effort into doing it, it's not yours forever. So we just kept saying that one day we'll have our house and we're gonna have a garden and we're gonna think about it. It's gonna be beautiful. So the day has come, folks. The day has come. This is the background. Now let me show you the garden and what we're working with. This is the front space, the front of the house that we're working with. Because there's quite a lot of sun here, the idea would be to take all of this out, use this space to create vegetable beds. We want to paint this fence, and then this is the driveway, which we'll probably leave as is or maybe add some pebbles. This is the space between the house and this very handsome fence. We need to create some sort of privacy between our house and their house. And then we go into the garden, which at the moment it looks very neat. It doesn't have any personality, so everything needs to be kind of part of the same vibe, same story. The garage looks very unattractive at the moment. Then we have this back space area here. We have 5 rose bushes. There's no grass here, it's just trimmings from the lawn. And then the biggest mystery of all is this back place here, back space, which currently has absolutely no utility whatsoever. You know, it's still quite a sizable amount of space. You can see here from behind. This is what we're working with. I really want it to be quite integrated. I don't want to just be like putting plants here and there and without really thinking about what I want to achieve. It's a work in progress, and I'm sure it's going to be quite a long process. I'm very excited. Oh, and I didn't show you this back space. We created this pile of garden clippings, leaves, branches, and then a very sad courgette and kale. And these are some just random tiles left behind, which could be used to make a path maybe in the garden. Seems like the ideal place to, you know, put garden waste, composting, food waste, things like that. Our property ends there. This is what we're working with. I'm excited to document the process, take you along with me. Now I'm going to show you the books that I bought to start thinking about this. So I'm in the garden, the sun is shining, I've got the pile of books here with me, and I'm going to have to put these on top of my glasses because otherwise I can't see anything. Wait, it's really hot. Much better. Highly recommend, if you want to buy gardening books, to go to Oxfam. They have an entire gardening section. There's a variety here. The first one cacti and succulents. Garrett is really into cacti and succulents. They're one of his favorite plants. This was $3.49. He talks through different species of cacti and succulents and how to actually grow them and care for them. Really, really good starter. Herb gardening. I will definitely want to have a lot of herbs and things to cook with. This was $1.99. This says from Ruth and Martha, and then it's crossed out. It's actually from Ken and Jill. Christmas 1996. The A to Z of herbs. You know, herbs, herbs. Greenhouse gardening. The reason we bought this for $1.99 is because we have this really awkward space in the back of the garden. We thought maybe one idea could be to create a greenhouse there. Okay, gardening handbook. So the reason we bought this one is because it has quite a lot of projects, for example, like how to put on trellises, for example, how to create paths and surfaces in the garden, step-by-step gardening projects, pruning, leaf cuttings, layering. So it just gives you a really good overview of things you can do in the garden. This was $3.49. Okay, this is very self-explanatory. It's called How to Garden. This was $3.49 too. How to Garden, a practical encyclopedia of gardening techniques with step-by-step photographs. We love a step-by-step photograph. Okay, The Flower Expert, written by D.G. Hessayon. Varieties, type, so you know if they're perennials, annuals. $2.99. This one's called Best Shade Plants. It's going to be really useful for us because we have a shaded area in our garden. In fact, we have quite a few shaded areas, and understanding what plants do we want to put in these. Obviously some shrubs. Hello. No, you can perfect timing.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so back to business. Best shade plants. Obviously understanding more about what plants thrive in shade. So we've got these massive pine trees that provide a lot of shade, which on the one hand is a bit annoying because you don't have sun to grow your vegetables, but on the other hand it does offer privacy from the neighbors, so you want some, you use some. This is the book that I have already read, I think almost half. It's called The New Small Garden Book. I really love this book. It really just takes you from the very, very beginning of actually how do you think about your garden. A lot of examples of how he did it. He creates these models of the gardens like this, right here. Then 4 more. It's called Gardener's Advice. This is really, again, a lot of practical advice type of a book, from various techniques to different kinds of caring methods for plants. I like it because it looks very visual. It's just very easy, very systematic. This is a great one to do with the family. It's just such a fun little book to have. It's called 56 Small Projects. For example, this one, it's a wood and trellis camouflage box. This one here, well, it gives you all of the instructions, kind of taking you step by step through it and really explaining how you would do it yourself. Last 2, Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Gardening. This was $5.99. This is the most expensive book that we got, so if this doesn't have all the answers to all of our questions, I don't know what will. Different flowers, to different caring techniques, cutting techniques, and how do you care for your garden season by season. It's really fun. This is really heavy. And last but not least, Right Plant, Right Place by Nicola Ferguson. So Nicola in this book is going to share the indispensable guide to a successful garden. I do very much subscribe to the philosophy that we need to find plants that are going to thrive in what we have, rather than modifying the environment to pick the plants that we want. Excited to start reading all of them and to get a sense of what we want. I think the next video is probably going to be a review of one of these books where I talk about particularly the small garden, small space, because it's a great starting point for what we want to do. Until then, take care of yourself and I'll see you later.